Europe from their vacation here in America because our dollar was so low that it was a steal to come over here. Or they couldn't get back from Europe back here to the US or to South America or wherever else they were going. And they were stranded. They didn't, people were running out of money. They didn't have money for hotels. A lot of the airlines took a lot of slack because they didn't do as much as they could have to the travelers, which prompted, of course, anything that goes wrong in Europe, which is a socialist country. Anytime something goes wrong, they have to try to have government fix it, so then they pass all these stupid regulations and controls and rules and regulations and laws and just a bunch of government bureaucracy that just doesn't solve the problem, just creates more problems. So, and then the other thing I wanted to talk about was the poor Gulf oil spill. These poor people down in the Gulf. BP has this deep water oil rig called Deep Water Horizon or Deep Horizon or something. Well, the platform exploded into a ball of fire and killed and injured a lot of people. And this happened well over 2.5 months ago. They haven't been able to cap this well because it's so deep down in the sea that it's so much pressure and so much ice and methane crystals and everything like that that they can't get a lid on this thing. They've been trying for weeks and months to put a cap on it, but it's just not working. It's spilling millions and millions of barrels of oil into the Gulf by the hour. And all these environmental wackos wouldn't allow the Gulf states to build barrier islands or sandbars or some other man-made structures that would be able to protect the beaches and the communities from an incident such as this, as an oil spill or a tanker running the ground that would spill oil or anything that would damage something like that. And now you're getting into the hurricane season where the hurricanes are going to be blowing through that same area and blowing all this oil, and this oil sheen, which is the lighter part of the oil, is going to be blowing all these tar balls and oil sheens, and the heavy crude oil is going to be coming up on shore eventually soon. It's coming up in some areas in Florida right now. But this is going to go into the Gulf Stream, and it's going to go around Florida, hit the eastern part of Florida, and this thing could hit other eastern states as well, as the Carolinas, Virginia. It could go all the way up to Maryland, maybe. They don't really know where or how far this oil spill is going to go. And I feel sorry for the fishermen down there in the Gulf who depended on this fishing season to get by and feed their family. And it's just been a horrible, horrible, horrible situation for them because the fishing season was canceled. They were relying on the fishing. They have no fishing. They barely have any money to scrape by and feed their family. BP is supposed to give them a check, but all this bureaucracy, they haven't been getting their checks. And of course, the Obama administration is not doing anything to help these people. They're sitting back, letting it happen. They don't really care. It seems like they want this thing to get worse so they can use it for a political motivation tool. From day one, the Obama administration hasn't done one iota or one thing to stop this. It took them until day 70 of this whole oil well leaking to accept international help from other countries to help us with this oil spill? Why did it take him almost over 2 months to accept international aid and help to, to get this thing under control? I mean, I'm glad that they're going to help us, but it's 2 months too late. Now we're going to have oil all over these beaches, totally destroying the economy, the environment, and everything. And it's just, they're just sitting back. They just don't care. There's no outrage at all. Everybody just says, oh, that's so sad. There's no outrage at the administration. There's no outrage. The only outrage that there is in BP, and it's rightfully so. People should be pissed off at BP for what they did. However, what we got to start holding our country accountable and our administrations. I remember during Katrina, Bush got slammed so hard for the FEMA's mistakes and ineptness at the whole situation. There was no communication with the local government, the state government of Louisiana during this whole thing. They didn't want to talk to Bush. They didn't want no help from Bush. They didn't want no help from Washington. They wanted to try to take control of the situation themselves, and it failed horribly, and Bush got bashed for it. And rightfully so, because he should have had the right people in place to deal with it. He should have had people down there from the get-go just taking over, saying, listen, we're doing it. We don't care if you don't want our help or not. We're doing it. But where's the outrage of the Obama administration and all this? You got one of the worst ecological disasters that is happening now. This is surpassed the Exxon Valdez oil spill that happened in the late 80s, early 90s. This far outweighs us. There's still oil leaking in the Gulf as we speak right now. I mean, it's been 3 months almost, and they still haven't capped it. I don't know when they're going to be able to cap it, but, it's just utterly unbelievable. But, we got to take a break, and we'll come right back as soon as we can. Thank you.